Everyone is speaking out about this on the New York Yankees as Juan Soto has the Mets fans losing their minds and crashing out. Meanwhile, the Yankees have had multiple player leaps that will have an impact on the rest of this season, trade season that's coming up, and much more in regards to free agency as well, especially with all the Juan Soto stuff happening. This will impact upcoming free agencies and a bunch of subsequent moves with the Yankees as well. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Yankees Digest, I don't know what you're doing. You know, part of me just wants to hide from the screen because I don't understand. Every single day, New York Yankees content. We're having a bunch of fun. Take 8 to 12 minutes out of your day, listen to some New York Yankees talk, then go regurgitate it to your friends so you sound like you know more about baseball than they do. It's a win-win for everyone involved. We have all types of Yankees content, but let's jump into the video. Look, we know one thing. We were all hurt when Juan Soto left for the New York Mets, but a lot of us were able to sit back and understand that, hey, he took more money. He took all those nice little incentives they gave him, like his own family having a suite and a bunch of other stuff, where he left the New York Yankees, but it still left a Juan Soto hole or a Juan Soto shaped hole in the Yankees wall. So, with all that being said, the Yankees had to subsequently make some other moves, which they did. And everyone was kind of excited about this Yankees team. And obviously, with some of the injuries to start the season, such as Giancarlo Stanton, Gerrit Cole, Luis Gil, Yankees fans were a bit more pessimistic than usual, and understandably so. I certainly was. I was nervous. I didn't think that Paul Goldschmidt was going to be a guy who still had much left in the tank. And on top of that, I was really not going to believe that Cody Bellinger was going to be able to fully replicate, I kind of knew he wasn't going to fully replicate, or I did know that, but I didn't know if he was going to do enough to replicate what Juan Soto did in New York, even with the other help the team got as well added to the team. However, the New York Yankees have been flowing, and so have the New York Mets, in fairness, but things have taken a turn for the Mets, and it happened in the Subway Series when Bob Klapsish mentioned that not only was Soto held hitless, but the signature swag had vanished. Soto's bat seemed slow, and more surprisingly, he's put on a few pounds around the middle. Well, first of all, it's important to note that one of the few times Soto was seen smiling here is with Aaron Boone. Now, the full photo is not on the screen right now, but let me tell you something. Those two fellas might have been comparing dad bods. And as someone who proudly has a dad bod, don't hate. But also, I'm not a professional athlete. And in Aaron Boone's case, he might have used to be one, but he's not one anymore. Juan Soto is the richest guy in history of baseball. This man's getting paid more money than anyone ever to play baseball. I'm not kidding you. His beer gut's bigger than mine. And I'm not saying I'm super out of shape. And frankly, you shouldn't care about the shape I'm in. I don't think you do. But we should all care about the shape that Juan Soto's in. Because this guy looked like he was out of shape and truly did not care as much as he did last season. Now, let's just be honest about one thing very quickly. No matter what happens, knowing that you're going to get your next payday, your next contract at the MLB level, and you know it's a make or break deal where you can make the most money in history of baseball, you're going to have more hunger than the season that now for the rest of your life you have $795 million guaranteed in the bank. Now, obviously with taxes and agent fees and other stuff like that, you're not going to have that much, but it's still going to be around like a good $400 million. So, especially with the other career earnings throughout his career, he's going to have around one hell of an amount of money in his bank. Probably, again, somewhere around $450 million for his life. So, Juan Soto's going to be set. Juan Soto's kids are going to be set. Juan Soto's grandkids are going to be set. None of them are ever going to have to work a day in their life the second Juan Soto retires from baseball. So, that's all great. Happy for Juan. He deserves it. He's a great player. However, he definitely looks a bit thicker than he did with the Yankees. On top of that, it was mentioned by Klapsish that just as Soto turned his back on ESPN and didn't do an interview, he did the same thing with reporters who were waiting to speak with him in the post-game clubhouse. Soto got dressed and began walking towards the door. He told a Mets official he'd be back to answer questions after seeing family members outside, but he never returned. And that's not the same stand-up guy who was always at his locker last season. Even after being skewered away on Friday, Soto spoke out of the obligation to take it like a man. 2 days later, he was running for the exit, These are troubling signs for the Mets hierarchy, and Klapsish was told that they're concerned about Soto's lack of enthusiasm for his new team. The only time Soto seemed happy this weekend was when he interacted with Aaron Judge, manager Aaron Boone, and second baseman Jazz Chisholm during batting practice, 3 of his former Yankee teammates. Now, here's Juan looking all happy, hanging out with his old buddy Aaron Boone in his old home, Yankee Stadium, where there'd be a roll call every day for Soto, where the entire right field was a very Dominican-heavy area where Yankee fans could really, especially Dominican Yankee fans, could really feel pride in Juan Soto being on the team, and Juan Soto felt that pride to be a Yankee. Unfortunately, he turned that in for more money and incentives to sign with the New York Mets, and again, understandable, fair, I'm not saying it's not, but Soto has definitely had a down year. Look, he's still playing great baseball, and we're not going to pretend like he's not. An 822 OPS, an OPS plus of 136. Those are good numbers. But it's not the 989 OPS and the OPS plus in the 170s that it was last year. The slugging percentage is not in the 5s like his career average usually is. It's 443. The on-base percentage is not in the 4s like his career average usually has it. It's in the 3s. Everything is down for Juan Soto. He's got 8 home runs, which is good. It's not whoa, but it's good thus far. But that's the thing. Juan Soto's season, it's just good. You don't pay $765 million for good. You pay it for irreplaceable. These numbers are replaceable. We all know they are. We're not going to act like there aren't other guys who could do this. There's like 3 on the Yankees doing this. I mean, let's not count Aaron Judge. He's a different beast. But there's other Yankee players putting up these seasons. There's players around the MLB who no one's really talking about that much putting up these seasons, these numbers. They're not getting $765 million. That is why everything's a bit different for Juan Soto. And Mets Avenue, a prominent Twitter account on Mets Twitter, said Soto is playing so lackadaisically right now, and I don't get it. No Soto shuffle, no intensity, jogging out of the box in the 8th inning of a tie game when he jogged, and DJ LeMahieu was able to make a great play because Soto jogged. Laughing with the Yankee players throughout the game, it feels like he took the money and left, and everyone understood that. So, when Juan was happy with his Yankee buddies, the Mets were losing games against their crosstown rivals. Now again, what is with these? What is with these numbers? And you look at a guy in Trent Grisham. You see the numbers. 959 OPS, 166 OPS plus, 592 slugging percentage, on-base percentage of 367. Juan Soto. The only thing better is the on-base percentage because Soto's got a phenomenal eye. He takes more walks. He's led the MLB in walks 3 times in his MLB career thus far. And he's got a long way to go of still doing that because that's not changing anytime soon. Soto takes walks like it's nobody's business, especially for a power hitter. It's incredible. However, Trent Grisham is having a better season. Soto's got 167 at-bats and 8 home runs. Trent Grisham, who is sort of a throw-in and a contract dump in that Yankees trade, has 12 home runs and 120 at-bats. He's got a WAR of 1.3, Soto's got a WAR of 1.7, and Soto's played more games. Trent Grisham has a batting average of 267, Soto is a 246. Soto has 20 RBIs, Grisham has 22, in, again, 47 less at-bats. Grisham's numbers outside of on-base percentage and stolen bases, across the board, we know who's playing better. On top of that, someone who the Yankees used some of that lost Soto money for in free agency was Paul Goldschmidt, a 37-year-old who the Yankees kind of got laughed at for really gunning hard for that signing. He's got an 878 OPS. He's got an OPS plus of 149. He's got 25 RBIs. He's batting a 339. Most of these numbers are better than Soto. The Yankees look really good right now because of this. The Mets look like they signed Juan Soto, and Soto repaid them by saying, thanks, I'm going to gain 15 pounds and kind of not feel the same hunger because I'm paid for life. And maybe he does feel the same hunger, but it's off the field, so we'll see. That's the final fat joke I'm making about Juan Soto because, again, the man is a far better athlete than I'll ever be at anything, and it's why I'm talking about him on a camera to 5,800 subscribers. And shout out to you guys. But that's why I'm doing that, and Soto's doing what he's doing. It's not lost on me what I'm saying here. But You also see a guy in Cody Bellinger, who the Yankees acquired after they lost Soto as a lefty to take over for Soto and try to replicate what he did. Now, again, impossible feat. We're not going to act like it was ever possible. However, Bellinger's fielding has been magnificent, and now he's on a run. He's had a 13-game hitting streak. He had a rough start, an awful start to the season. Not rough. He played terribly. He looked unplayable at points, not defensively, but offensively. Now Bellinger is doing amazing. He's got an MLB best 13-game hitting streak, and as Talking Yanks mentioned, he's 20 for 53. That's a 377 average. He's got 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 7 walks, and a 1.129 OPS. The Yankees, they look like things are working really well right now, and with Juan Soto, it's looking like he probably should have just stayed with the Yankees all along, but he didn't. And now guys like Trent Grisham and Cody Bellinger have proven themselves to Yankee fans, along with Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt, and the Yankees used the money to sign Max Fried, who's going to win Cy Young. So don't forget that, while Juan Soto is in New York on the Mets, just being good and not great. And that's a problem. Now, maybe Soto didn't want to go to the Mets after all. Maybe he got convinced, and that's what Michael Kay seems to say. As he said, people in the know say that Juan Soto wanted to be a Yankee. He chose the Yankees, but his family wanted to be a Met, so he chose the Mets. Believe this report on Juan Soto. Don't believe the report. However, Juan Soto, throughout this series, looked like he misses being in pinstripes. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees. This is funny.